Chat, we're here. Again, we are here. We're going to be doing some React, and then we're going to play hopefully have enough time to play a video game, depending on how long we react to the couple of videos we have. But we will get right into it here in just a second. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get things started. The first one I have is from Royalty is Here, and it's entitled The Problem with Twitch. It's from about a month ago, but I haven't watched it, so I wanted to give it a watch, see what he is talking about. So let's go ahead and move over to here. Then we can go ahead and start this up. If you're seeing this on YouTube, welcome. We're going to go ahead and watch this video, and let me know what you think about it, or what my thoughts are down in the comments below. Let's start.
So we all know what Twitch is. No, I'm not referring to your body's primitive reaction when you heard the rumor your parents can see your search history from the internet bill. Don't worry, I heard and believed the same lie growing up, but they never did discover that I was looking up Tomb Raider 1996 boobs. But anyway, Twitch, if you don't know, is a live streaming platform that has existed since 2007, when it was originally named Justin.tv.
Justin from Justin.tv. With Justin TV, you can watch, broadcast, and share live video, and chat with other viewers.
But then quickly turned into a place where people would stream things like anime and other shows like 2005's Hell's Kitchen. Those were the days.
Those were the days. I was on Justin TV. My original account, which is not this account, dates all the way back to that time, and I would go on there and watch TV shows with other people too. I actually found Dan's Gaming on there before the site was bought and rebranded as Twitch TV. So yeah, I started watching video games on there right towards the very end, but yeah, it started out as a site where you could do virtually anything like this said, like people get together, watch TV shows, things like that. It was really cool.
People were also a lot more openly racist on the platform back then, and Hell's Kitchen would make a return on Twitch in 2018 as a staple for reaction content. But when Justin TV was renamed to Twitch in 2014, around that time it was primarily known for streaming gaming content. Yep. I personally remember watching Maya Night Live back then. God, was that a time to be alive. But in the same year, the platform was bought by the man with a hairline of steel, Jeff Bezos, or Amazon, for $970 million. And things went from there. Twitch got a complete makeover, and it was no longer known as just a niche platform for streaming games. It gradually grew more popular over the years, to the point where in current times, most people don't get the old references from Twitch, like Forcing CD, Forcing Boys, The Two of Wives, Use the Shovel Soda, PVC, Where the F I Am,
Where the F I Am,
Shroud has a fat cock,
Word on the street is that you got a fat cock.
Lord rest his soul, Billy Harrington, and using the actual
good
syntax for emotes in vocal and social conversations. Remember Pepe Hands, Pepe Sad, Omega Lol, and Pog?
Yeah.
Spelled P-O-G, not the other way. Nobody says any of that anymore. And if you
know,
remember a single one of those references, you've probably already started contributing to that 401k, buddy. You old fuck. And if you don't remember him, here's some Minecraft parkour gameplay. I know I have to jingle the keys every now and again just to keep your attention, but more people found Twitch. It absolutely exploded in 2020 due to COVID, where people for the first time discovered the beauty of watching streams and maybe even starting their own. And in the present day, you now have a whole host of content and personalities on the platform. You didn't even have to stream games anymore. In fact, most streamers on Twitch don't even touch games. They just react to YouTube slop for a few hours, like police body cam footage.
That's so good though.
But Twitch, like every platform, has its fair share of problems. The doomers wishing their Amazon overlords had never acquired it, and it should go back to just being about games. You've got people that are just in general disgusted by the platform due to some of the content on it, like the supposed streaming boober meta, and the fact the platform is more political than it has ever been, with many expressing Twitch has a bias when it comes to certain Twitch streamers,
Bro, we're never beating the Hassan runs Twitch allegations after this. This is crazy. Oh my God.
And the Twitch CEO may be a gooner himself. Which, you know, fair play, as long as the wife knows. Recently you've got suspected viewbotting, which started a whole kerfuffle. But Twitch has a lot of problems. But what else are you going to use to watch live streams? Fucking YouTube? It's probably easier to find the Ark of the Covenant than somebody streaming on YouTube. Except from the most obvious people that do stream on YouTube. Or maybe Kick, that has the reputation of harbouring all the controversial streamers that are banned on every other platform. Or maybe some would prefer the rigor mortis-ridden corpse that is Mixer. And I'm not even going to mention LiveLeak, but I think the first live streaming platform to implement semen racing will have my undivided attention. But I've been on Twitch for a while, and today I wanted to talk about the problems and common critiques it faces, and answer the question if the platform truly deserves it.
Thank you so much for the sub. Oh my... Let me put you on the chalkboard.
Oh my gosh.
Probably the most prominent problem and loudest critique you will hear about Twitch is regarding some of the content on the platform. And by that I mean the content that is mainly within the just chatting or the hot tub section of Twitch, which the latter section was created due to the fact people hated that this was being put on the platform, and people started throwing their shit at Twitch for it, because some of the streamers were taking it a bit too far. So Twitch responded by creating a whole section for it. Some of these people now aren't even streaming in a hot tub pool or anything. Why is there a monkey? But the just chatting and hot tub section of Twitch has somewhat of a negative stigma surrounding it due to these categories being used to host suggestive borderline NSFW content, or as some may say, softcore porn. Many of these being female streamers, and the occasional guys doing this just to make fun of the trend.
I got a mogul move for you. Ew.
That was funny.
Ew.
You smell it?
Not yet. I'm trying to, though.
But many put these streams and people under one title, which is something you've all probably heard before, which is ethot, which is used to describe things like these female streamers, and is used for people that use their bodies as their primary content to make money or garner attention. But this has been on Twitch for a while, and it's come in many forms over the years. First, you had the chalkboard meta.
Thank you so much for the sub. Oh my God, guys. Yes. Let me put you on the chalkboard.
Then the 90% face cam, 10% gameplay meta. Then the body painting meta. Then the mirror meta. Then the transparent chair meta. And the green screen meta. Then just straight up being naked and only showing so much so you don't get banned. And then the hot tub meta. There has been a lot of metas over the years to capitalize on this infinite money glitch. Many patched over the years due to Twitch's updates to their terms of service. Some rules Twitch had to walk back themselves due to the fact everybody hated them, especially with the artistic nudity rule. I get how body painting would be considered art, but this, I don't know. I wouldn't correlate this with a Matisse painting, but yeah. But this contributed to what many refer to as the just chatting problem, or more prominently known, the ethot epidemic, where most streams in the just chatting or hot tub section are somewhat explicit, suggestive, and some of them do advertise their OnlyFans on there.
No, I do
now,
not.
Apart from the obvious problem of a platform that should be safe for kids 13 and up, with this type of content being shown, some without age verification, and being environments where some come to tenderize their meat instead of the conventional websites, but this would also create a negative stigma for female streamers in general.
Not wrong.
Who got lumped in with these types of streamers where some assume all female streamers are like this. Or heaven forbid there is a centimeter of cleavage on screen, and they obviously must be doing this intentionally. And unfortunately this has contributed to a lot of harassment some females face on the platform. Now, do I personally have a problem with these streams? Streams where they are intentionally doing this type of content, fully well knowing what they are doing, with the purpose of monetary gain? Well, I don't think I've ever had interest in watching these types of live streams, which for the most part is borderline just softcore porn for 4 hours, when I can just go to another website which specializes in this type of content, see the whole Dark Souls naked run, and after 2 minutes wallow in self-pity. But hey, some people are there for the personality, and to simulate what it's like to be a cook if they actually had a girlfriend. Or maybe it's something to do with edging, I guess, or maybe just like female attention, whatever reason, I don't relate to it. A lot of the people viewing anyway are from countries where porn is banned, like Turkey, and Twitch is the only way they can have access to it.
That is interesting, I didn't know that.
People commonly have going against this type of content. One, they blame the streamer themselves, commonly saying they shouldn't be doing this type of content on this platform, and they take advantage of people that are lonely.
Okay, about that, here's my take. I don't fault or discount or put down anybody who finds a way to make money if they're allowed to do it. If the site gives them this opportunity and that is the asset and vehicle they want to use to make money, if that is their body, in this case, you know, OnlyFans girls do it. If they're allowed to do it on Twitch and make money and Twitch allows them to do it, no problem with it at all. Everyone allowed to do their own thing. So yeah, I'm just throwing it out there now. I have no problem with that whatsoever. They allowed to use whatever the system and the website allows them to do to make money. Totally behind that.
And desperate for monetary gain. Two, they blame the people that are supporting them and actively gooning to their streams, which I think no pep talk in the world will persuade them not to do this.
Yep.
And you're probably going to have to persuade the final boss, that is the Twitch CEO himself as well. And three, blame the platform for hosting this type of content and not taking action against it. I personally side with the third point, to be honest. Yes, the streamers know what they are doing. Some are constantly trying to push the line till they eventually break the terms of service of Twitch, in which Twitch will probably respond by adding a new rule, and to say no, you cannot deploy something equivalent to a periscope just so your viewers can see your ass. And I think at most times they only get a day to a week ban. Many people do defend these types of streams, saying you must be gay if you don't like this, or you must hate women. No, I just don't expect this type of content on a platform that used to be just for gaming. And once again, the age rating is 13+. Like Jackmate, I would expect this, but not Twitch. But if there's nothing being done about these streams except the occasional ban for a day or two, and some people in the category are brute forcing the Twitch TOS to see what they can get away with, which then other streamers will copy, and then that'll be the meta for the next season. I'm pretty sure it's a platform problem at that point. I mean, the streamer Mogpie that has set the meta for many of these streamers got banned multiple times in the year of 2023, some within the same week, and only got a 2-day ban at most. There did used to be a rule where if you got banned multiple times in the same year, you just get perma-banned off the platform. But to be fair, that obviously doesn't exist anymore, because some of these streamers have been banned numerous times in the same year. Yeah, you can blame the gooners, but they're never going to stop. You can blame the streamers taking advantage of a money glitch that has yet to be patched or will never get patched. But at that point, I personally think you should be hating the game, not the player. Because what are you going to do? Call them a whore? And then hope they instantly turn to Christianity? And then become a celibate or something? But to their credit, at least some of them do age gate their streams, which is like a band-aid approach, but the platform itself is enabling this, with poor punishment and not enforcing rules to counter this type of content. But another thing Twitch does get a bad rep for is its moderation itself.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So in short, so far, it's Twitch's fault that this content is on there because they're the ones that allow it to be on there and even put it in a different category. And they only have an age restriction of 13+, yet they have borderline you-know-what on there for a 13-year-old to see, and they do nothing about it. Yeah.
Another common critique of Twitch is that the moderation, or in other words, the actual staff of Twitch, that oversee the platform and are usually involved in tasks like banning or removing users or streamers that go against the terms of service of the platform. And they do this to keep the platform a somewhat safe place. But they do get a lot of shit, especially recently, due to the fact that many claim and believe that Twitch staff are biased to certain streamers, and when it comes to following their own rules and being fair, they are rather inconsistent. But does Twitch deserve this criticism, or is it just completely unfounded? Well, the fact I'm fucking talking about it means there's some contention to that point, you dumbass. Whilst Twitch does not publicly talk about their banning decisions, and there's been one recorded event of a Twitch staff getting involved for their own benefit, I can see why people think there is a bias based on reoccurring patterns, like the inconsistency with bans. Some people like to use the example recently that occurred with the streamer Extra Emily, whose content is similar to that of an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay. Yes?
This is a family establishment. You are not allowed to cook crack in the parking lot.
Oh, I'm cooking steak.
What?
But pretty entertaining. But a lot of streamers get in trouble for streaming whilst driving, mainly due to the fact they look at their phone whilst driving to look at their chat, which is obviously dangerous. But Extra Emily didn't even do that. She was messing with her camera whilst driving and flips the camera at the exact time she runs a red light and basically self-reports herself. But obviously this was dangerous and against the law, potentially shows she was distracted whilst driving. And then after it happens, she gives the excuse that this happens all the time and that these lights take a while to turn or something.
That happens all the time. In Austin,
What?
you know, like the stoplights here are really long.
But as a result of this, she only received a 1-day ban. And then to her credit, when she returned, turned her next stream into a learning experience where she completed a driving school. But she did get banned for looking at her phone in 2023 for 3 days, but for this time only a day. But after the latest ban, people were quick to point out the ban should have been much longer. Even people like Stable Ronaldo voicing their opinion. Someone who had been banned for reckless driving 10 months prior for 3 days after going over a speed bump too fast to the point where the car lifted up.
That's nowhere
in the air,
near the...
and he thought she should have been banned for the same amount of time he was.
Why?
He said, I'm running this red light, but when I hit a pothole going the speed limit...
You don't give a
You ain't
I hit a
going the
pothole,
speed
by the way,
limit.
I hit a pothole with adapt, going the speed limit. It wasn't even a pothole, it was a speed bump. So my car went like this, and then all of a sudden...
Did that really look like the speed limit to anybody else who sees this? Hell no. It didn't look like it. Maybe he was and everyone else was just going really, really slow.
I'm banned for a week!
This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. She deserves to get banned for over a fucking month.
This and other instances, like when Pokimane pulled up the hub by accident live on stream.
Wait, we saw this, right?
And only got a warning for it, compared to when Foursome pulled up a gif of the famous horse, also by accident but got banned for a whole month. Which has led to a lot of people believing that Twitch are more lenient when it comes to female streamers, more than their male counterparts.
Yep.
The main comment being Twitch staff are simps, which at this point this argument has been occurring for like 5 years now, due to Twitch's confusing banning process, where ban durations seem to differ for the same rule being broken. And they also bring up the point I discussed earlier, where some streamers in the just chatting section only get banned for a day for sexually explicit content, and some banned multiple times within the same week. But once again, there is no concrete evidence Twitch has a bias towards gender, due to the fact they do not advertise information regarding bans,
Of course they
or
don't.
the banning process.
And they don't have
But
to.
there are past events that have showed Twitch staff have involved themselves personally in the streaming environment and have even offered advantages to...
They don't have to. Should they? Yes, for transparency, but they don't have to. No, of course they don't. No, they don't have to do that.
some streamers. A key example being Hassan. Not the Hassan you're thinking of, but he was a former member of the Twitch team and was the director of strategic partnerships. But in 2020 it came out that he had been accused of sexual misconduct and abuse of power. Launched by the streamer VO, and then later other female streamers who expressed the same situation with the same staff member, it was claimed that he leveraged his role at Twitch, where he would promise things like perks and promotional items in return for sexual favours. Sexual favours he would still conduct even when the other party was saying no. He also shared explicit images to other people without consent and disclosed confidential Twitch information, in which an internal investigation by Twitch was launched, and he was subsequently removed from his role, but he faced no legal repercussions. Obviously not all Twitch staff are like this. This is a single person, but at the time this event was used as a main point that Twitch staff do get personally involved and do have a bias, when they're supposed to be the complete opposite. But another point that people use that Twitch staff are biased is within the political sphere of Twitch. Yes, over the years, politics on the Twitch platform has grown significantly. It's not hard to find most streamers nowadays sticking.
You will not see me in there. You will not. I want nothing to do with politics.
Their wrinkly, depraved toe into the political
This is as close to it as I'll ever get.
pool to give their opinion on the state of
Hey, Will, how you doing? How's it going tonight?
politics, in which I promptly click off the stream because it's not bedtime yet, and as I've said before, explaining politics to me is like giving...
Pretty good. Not too bad. Pretty good. For a Thursday. Not too shabby. It is Thursday, right? Yep, it is. Well, I had to actually check. Yeah, pretty good overall. Not too bad.
A lethal dose of NyQuil.
This is running in Brave. Thank you very much. One of those days for you? Or just one of those days? It was one of those days for me. No ads, none so far. Nope. Ah, slow. I wish today wasn't necessarily slow for me. It went by really quick just because I was conducting a training session on for some other employees, so it went by pretty quick. Yeah, Brave is working good. Yeah. Definitely is. I have it set it up. I have my YouTube signed in here because it made me sign in for something, so yeah, I haven't gotten any yet.
But to some people's dismay, politics has been thriving on the Twitch platform for a while now. You have Hassan, previously Destiny, everyone's favourite cockroach king Asmongold, where some people are no longer interested in WoW gameplay and just want him to talk about politics. And you also have streamers like... yeah, I don't know that many political streamers. I'm only here for the gameplay and slop reaction, but especially recently, politics has started a fiery war on the platform. And believe me, you cannot escape it. It is everywhere, and has lasted almost a year now. It's basically a blood gulch skirmish at this point. You have Hassan versus H3 versus iDubbbz for some reason, versus Asmongold, versus Hassan's friends or something, versus Twitch itself. But basically, everyone is throwing their shit at everyone. And some people believe Twitch has had a big hand in it, and as a result has led to their own YouTube adpocalypse of sorts. But what is this whole drama about? I don't fucking know. Wrong channel. I'm a political infant at this point. I'm probably going to load up Rust to learn my 3x3 has been fucking raided after this. But why is Twitch being brought up in this situation? Well, once again, they were accused of being biased towards other streamers based on their political beliefs. And again, their banning system being very inconsistent. People thought that the Twitch staff had a bias towards streamers like Hassan, who on stream said killing one US senator would solve a problem.
Cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott, okay? You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott.
And people were outraged he only received a day ban for this. And people think for what he has done, he should have been banned longer, due to the fact other streamers get banned a lot longer for things others view as less significant as this. Many using VTubers getting banned for like 2 weeks as an example. And some people use the fact that the Twitch team and CEO have publicly wished Hassan a personal happy birthday. And it's
I mean, it's just a fact. It's beyond any doubt that there's a bias, but they can do whatever in the hell they want as long as the people who own them, which is Amazon, allows them to do whatever in the hell they want. That's all there is to it. Yeah, it's not going to change. The adpocalypse came because of all the political rhetoric leading up to the election, and advertisers wanted nothing to do with either side spouting the crazy stuff they did. And especially when, you know, someone like, never mind, I used the same example yesterday, but Walmart, telling you to come in to save money buying something, they don't want that ad being run against Hassan saying, go, you know what, a U.S. senator. They don't want that. A lot of advertisers just pulled out. You know, so yeah, they did cause it because they aren't evenly banning people for doing the exact same thing. They're not fairly applying the same rules across the board. So yeah, but they can do that. That's fine. Like I said, as long as the people who own them allow them to do that, which is Amazon, there's no reason they can't. Twitch would have been doing a lot better if they just stuck to it as a gaming platform. I think maybe, I think the biggest problem Twitch has right now is just, I think Twitch would have been doing a lot better right now. I overall, I think I do agree with you. But I think they would still be, even if they were still allowing the same content, I think they would be doing leaps and bounds better if they actually just applied their TOS to everybody the exact same way. I really think they would. They wouldn't have lost all their ad revenue. All that stuff wouldn't have happened. They wouldn't have all these people complaining about them constantly. They wouldn't have people outside of Twitch and gaming starting to call them anti-Semitic and things like that. None of that would be happening if they actually just applied their own TOS fairly and evenly across the board, period. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. You break this rule, boom, do it. And don't show this blatant favorism, whether it's you don't get banned or your ban is 1/10 of what someone else did when a rule is broken. That's all there is to it. I mean, you can clearly see where they have this bias where they literally suspend a VTuber for being in a swimsuit and not showing anything they're not supposed to because they think it shows too much, even though according to their own TOS it doesn't. And yet there are people in that hot tub and pools category showing way more than a cartoon character and not getting banned. It's insane. I mean, they have clear biases in how they apply their rules. So, but like I said, they can do it. I think they would be in a lot better financial situation if they didn't. And I think that a lot of people would be a lot happier if they were a lot more even-handed across the board with their stuff and a lot more transparent and in coming forward with information to the people that they're banning. Oh, the hot tub streams are like insane. I was talking about this earlier in the video when he brought it up. I'm like, the fact that they allow that on this platform when the age restriction is 13 blows my mind, because it is softcore. You know what? That's what it is. It's what used to be scrambled on cable if you had that channel back in my day, because I'm an old fart. Like, that's what it is. And yet a 13-year-old can view that no matter what. Under 13, if they just lie and say they're 13. But if you meet their actual requirements, 13-year-olds can do that. It's crazy. Honestly, I don't think that should be on here at all, but I know why it is. Well, actually, I don't know why it is. I can see from a business point why it is. Because it makes them a lot of money. And the business is here to make them a lot of money. What they need to do is, I don't know, they either need to create a more purely adult site and allow things like that on it, maybe gambling, because that brings in a lot of money and they ban that, but yet they allow softcore, you know what, on here, ironically enough. Things like that on a site that requires you to be 18 plus, right? And then I think that is where a lot of this stuff would go, including a lot of the weird, even just chatting crap like I'm doing right now. I think a lot of that would go. I think it's also crazy how hard they were pushing their hot tub and pool section on the front page. They were putting all the yes, exactly. They were. It is crazy. It is. I just think if they were able to do that and create a site that you had to be 18 on, and did this and all the other crazy stuff on that site, and then I think a lot of this middle ground stuff would go to that isn't gaming. And I think a lot of what would be left on Twitch literally would just be gaming content. I really do. And I think it's what a lot of people like you would say, like you liked it better when it was mostly gaming. I think that would help mitigate some of this damage and some of the issue, but they won't do that because, you know, whatever. But that's just what I think. Like, I think they would be in a lot better situation overall and be underneath a lot less scrutiny and heat if they would just do that.
Uncommon for them to do this, so people use this as evidence
It's
that they
looking
must
like
have
it
a
right
bias
now,
towards
yeah.
Hassan himself or certain political beliefs.
Birthday to you.
What the fuck?
Happy birthday to you.
The most rabid editors.
You think YouTube is becoming a monopoly? Monopoly for what, though? Just videos? Because it's already that now. There is no other site that even compares to it for videos. It's always been like that. And YouTube on its own thing is even worse than Twitch. They have an actual separate platform for kids that has millions of videos on it that are literal corn, but with a P. Literal on the kids' YouTube that depict like Minecraft characters, cartoon characters doing those things. Oh, they absolutely do. One of these nights, I'll watch the documentary on stream it, and you can see it. I mean, these sites make millions of dollars a month, like hundreds of millions of dollars a month for YouTube, which is why they don't take it down. Of course, I'm like dropping some frames. I thought it was Twitch, but I am dropping some frames. My son bothering me. Is it? Is it kind of low? Wait. Hello? Maybe I'm just not talking loud enough. There we go. That might be a little bit better. It is still crapping on itself. Looks like it's trying to get a little bit better. This is just... At least it shows in the green now. See if that stays. No, it's not. Not dropping now. Better. Wrong. It is not getting better either. Or on Twitch. And this thing is still trying to run right now. It's not even able to run. Now I'm fully all the way back up, but I'm still dropping. No, it's bad. All right, I'm going to stop stream for now and reboot my modem, and then I will be back. Thanks a lot.